JBN, we keep you informed. I am Michelle Jones, and in the news, Portmore man named in several major crimes but not charged, convicted of wounding with intent. High Court Judge Ty Powell last week convicted Romario Stewart of wounding with intent in the gun court. Stewart, who has been recently fingered in several major criminal activities in the Westchester community of Portmore, St. Catherine, is to be sentenced in April. The conviction is for the August 2018 shooting of a woman. The St. Catherine South Special Operations Unit picked up Stewart in November in Westchester, where he was allegedly found with 74 rounds of ammunition. According to police sources, Stewart was the prime suspect in the March 2019 double murder of teenagers David Cameron and Brittany Allen, who both attended Donald Quarry High School in St. Andrew. Cameron was aged 15 years and Brittany 14. Both teenagers were reportedly lying on a bed in a room at a residence along Mandela Close in Westchester when armed men entered and opened fire, hitting both teens in their heads. The police were summoned and on arrival found Allen lying face down on a bed with what appeared to be gunshot wounds to the head. Cameron was found lying on his back on the bed, also with what appeared to be gunshot wounds to the head. Police sources suggested that fear among witnesses stymied their investigation of the double murder. Stewart was taken on an identification parade in relation to the double killing, but he was not pointed out. In another incident, in which Stewart was the prime suspect, police sources said witnesses refused to cooperate with an investigation into the 2020 murder of a woman in Westchester. The sources said the police were finally able to charge Stewart when a woman decided to stand up and testify against him. Gun and ammo seized in Stony Hill. One 9mm pistol with 4 rounds of ammunition was seized during an operation in Brandon Hill, Stony Hill, St. Andrew this morning. Reports from the Constant Spring Police are that about 7:45 a.m., lawmen conducted an operation in the area when the premises was searched and the weapon found in a barrel. It was subsequently seized. No one was arrested in relation to the seizure. Investigations continue. 5 arrested. Guns and ganja seized in Westmoreland. A joint police-military operation in Westmoreland led to a major drug seizure and the arrest of several men on Saturday, March 13. Members of the Police Narcotics Division, the St. James Operations Support Unit, and the military conducted a pre-dawn raid at Kettle District, Springfield, in Westmoreland. During the operation, several premises and a motor car were searched. 2 9mm pistols and 35 9mm cartridges and approximately 600 pounds of cured ganja were seized. About 500 ganja plants were seized and an acre of illegal ganja was destroyed. The estimated value of the 600 pounds of ganja is $2.4 million. 5 persons were taken into custody in relation to the seizures. Their identities are being withheld pending further investigations. Jamaican farm worker dies in Canada. The Ministry of Labour and Social Security today confirmed the death of 57-year-old farm worker Logan Grant of St. James, who died in Canada yesterday. According to the ministry, Grant was among a batch of workers who departed for Canada on March 5, 2021. As is required by the Government of Canada, Mr. Grant tested negative for COVID-19 prior to departing Jamaica, the ministry said in a statement. It is understood that Mr. Grant fell ill on Saturday and was taken to hospital by paramedics, where he died approximately 3 hours later. The cause of his death is being investigated. There is no suspicion of foul play, it added. In the meantime, Labour Minister Carl Samuda and Permanent Secretary Colette Roberts-Risden have extended their condolences to Grant's immediate family, close friends, and his employer. Risden also indicated that the ministry's social worker visited with the family this morning. The ministry stands ready to provide support to the family and will be working to have his body flown back to Jamaica, the statement noted. Since January, the ministry said over 2,000 farm workers have left the island for various farms in Canada and the United States. All workers are tested for COVID-19 and must return a negative result prior to being processed at the ministry's East Street facility and boarding their flight at the Norman Mall International Airport, the minister said. Grant was in his 24th season as a farm worker. Some burials now allowed, Mackenzie says. Minister of Local Government and Rural Development Desmond Mackenzie has announced an adjustment to the current 2-week ban on burials. In a statement today, the minister said, having met with funeral directors and related stakeholders last week, a number of proposals emerged from those conversations. Accordingly, approval has been given. 1. The burial or cremation of bodies that are in an advanced state of decomposition. 2. The burial or cremation of bodies that are not in an advanced state of decomposition but have been recommended for immediate burial by the appropriate health authorities. And 3. The burial or cremation of indigent persons who die in state care. These measures took effect on Saturday, March 13. I want to make it clear that only the clergy will be allowed to administer the final rites of persons who are buried or cremated in these 3 circumstances. No family gathering will be allowed. The current order prohibiting burials remains in effect, Mackenzie said. He also noted that approval has been given to allow families to obtain burial orders to facilitate preparation for burials once the ban is lifted. As an additional measure to ensure compliance with the ban on burials, I also want to make it very clear that the municipal corporations will not be issuing interment orders, without which no final disposal of a body can be done. This ban on burials came about because of the total disregard for the COVID-19 protocols at grave sites all over the country, and the connection between this behavior and the spike in cases and hospitalizations. The government will continue to do everything to bring these numbers down and to save lives, he added. Mackenzie indicated that the government is considering additional proposals made by the stakeholders in the funeral industry and commended them for their understanding, strong sense of partnership and cooperation. Only healthcare workers, members of the JCF and JDF, should turn up at vaccination centers, MOH says. Following reports of crowds descending on vaccination centers asking to be inoculated, the Ministry of Health and Wellness has advised that beginning today until Friday, March 19, only healthcare workers and members of the Jamaica Defense Force, JDF, and the Jamaica Constabulary Force, JCF, will be inoculated with the COVID-19 vaccine. Persons who are not in these categories should not present themselves at any vaccination sites across the island, the ministry said in a statement. The ministry announced yesterday that over the next 2 weeks, its primary focus will be to have healthcare workers and members of the JDF and the JCF vaccinated. Jamaica's COVID cases passed the 30,000 mark. The number of confirmed COVID-19 cases surpassed 30,000 after the country recorded 587 new cases of the virus yesterday. The country has now recorded 30,499 cases of the virus, of which 14,640 are active. The death of a 72-year-old man from St. Catherine has brought the country's death toll to 485. Of the newly reported cases, there were 332 females and 255 males with ages ranging from 6 weeks to 95 years. The cases were recorded in Kingston and St. Andrew, 162, St. Catherine, 111, St. Anne and St. Thomas, 48 each, Manchester and Clarendon, 40 each, St. James, 33, Trelawney, 32, St. Elizabeth, 20, Portland, 18, Hanover, 17, St. Mary, 12, and Westmoreland, 6. The country also recorded 80 recoveries, bringing the total number of recoveries to 15,139. JBN, we keep you informed. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.